Hey guys, welcome to Code Inbox Automation Lab. This is Sharful. Today it's a very important topic we're going to discuss. It's about the table. Like when in our real life we see lots of tables. We might have do some automation in our table. So in a table you have some row and column. So from any row or column you may have to retrieve some data and do some automation testing. Example, this is a website is about cricket. If whether you know or not, it doesn't matter. This is just I'm going to show an example. So this is one of the table. It's like Pakistan innings, okay, and it has some rows. You can see all those are row, and each row there is a multiple column, like for the name, and this is another one, and there's for the R, which is run, and there's a B. All those are different columns data, each and every row. So our testing would be get all the run, like for the R column, for each and every row, get all the runs including extras, and then compare with the totals. So it should be, if you sum all of the runs including extra, it should be equals to 162. So I have to get the data from each and every row for the run column, for the R column, and then add all of them, and then compare with the total 162 total values. And if they match, it's a pass. If it's not, it's fail. Okay, that's our testing. So this is like getting the data from a table. So this is Pakistan innings. This is the one table. This is the whole table. From this table, we're for a specific one column, from each row we'll get the data. We'll retrieve the data, and then we'll add sum all of them and compare with the total amount or total number. Okay, so how can we do this? The one thing, it's usually this is very standard development process. When developer they design a table like this, they create such a fashion way that they create a one specific area or a specific class, one parent class for allocated for this table. And then under that class, you can see all the rows are similar fashion, like same way, like design is same way, right? So those are the child class. The child class will be all common for this row, whatever all the rows except the last two. It's a little bit different. Looks a little bit different. You can see like rest of them, they have a name, batsman name, and each and every one there is a link attached with that, and so those are the design pattern are same. So what they do, they use the same kind of one common class or design for each and every row. Similarly, each and every row they have whatever the column they have, all of the column will have those are the child of each and every row. So for this is the first one, the first row, it has one column, it's for the name, another one it's for this information, another one is R, another one is V. Those are the child of first row, and every row is the child of parent class, which is the actual this table. So I can show you. Let's see. If you go inspect, let's see. So you can see, if I select this guy, this is the one. If you highlight this class, and this class, when you select this this class, you can see it's reflect the whole table. You can see the whole table and whole table, right? And this is a sharp arrow. It means this is the actual parent class for this whole table, and under this class it has a some child, and you can see those are the child. The arrow it's on the right direction, is those are the child of this parent class. So this is, you can see if you move your mouse to each and every other classes, you can see that it's highlighting, you know, those the individual arrow, individual row. You can see if I move here, you can see, right? And each and every class, each and every row, so example this row or this row, it has some, every row has some child class like this for individual column. And then you can see this one, and there's a third one. Okay, this is the third one. It's a reflect for the run, the R column for this first row. Okay, one thing is noticed. So first, how we gonna start? We'll start with the parent. We'll for the whole table. So example, where is okay, this is the one, this is the one, the parent one. So we'll start from this. Okay, this class, we'll start this CSS class. Okay, to select, to narrow down, this is specific, to select this is specific table, and from this table we'll move to each and every row. We'll count how many row we do have. Like you can see those are the child. Okay, those are the child, and you can see, notice that, let's minimize this, each and under this class, the parent class, the child class, which is reflect all of the rows, it has the same, the rows, the class, for the each and every class has the same class name. The class name, you can see, this is the one, the item, this is the one, it's all are same, it's reflecting all are same. So our idea how we can plan to get the data from here, from this R column. First, we'll narrow down our drivers scope to this table, and from there we'll see how many rows we have. Okay, since all of the class for the rows are common, so we can use the size method to get total number of the rows. It means each and every rows, it will count, and from each rows will drive to their the child column, which is the R1, this one. So it means any one of the rows, you can see the column for R is reflect to third column to, okay, this is the one, right? So this is the this class is reflect the rows, whole rows, any rows, and then this is the first child of the rows, and then second child for the rows, and third child of the rows. That's reflect the value of the R column, right? So we need the third child. So first this will be the parent child relationship. We'll see. Okay, so let's do it. So first we need to spy our table. Okay, this is the one. So and this is the URL. Okay, so let's go to our Eclipse. So I created class is called table exercise, and just very the prerequisite things I already put it here. Use the set properties to know where is my Chrome driver. I'm using the Chrome browser, and this is the locator for my Chrome driver, and use the web driver, a relationship between the web driver and Chrome driver class, and use the maximize method to maximize the window, and also I use implicitly wait for 5 seconds. Okay, let's launch the browser first. We'll use driver.get method. Okay, let's copy let's copy the URL. Sorry. Okay, this is the URL. I will add this URL in a description below. So if you want, you can do the practice in the same example or any other table. It's a concept will be the same. Okay, so it will launch the browser with this URL site, and then first I will select this the table. So this is the table. It is the okay, this is the actual table, right? Okay, this is the one. So this is the class, this is the parent class, so which will select that table, this table. So I will, so let's spy this table. So class name, I will say this is the class. I will use CSS selector. Okay, before I jump on the CSS selector, I believe that you already know just some flashback or a little bit, prerequisite. I'm pretty much everybody knows how to create the Xpath, how to create the CSS locator, but it's still, just sharing with you one more time. So to create a Xpath to locator, the syntax is /tagName, then the bracket, and then inside the bracket you will use @attribute, whatever the attribute you are going to use, and equals to, in a single quotation you will use the value of that attribute. Okay, or you can use /, then asterisk sign, which is it means it will accept any tag name, and then the same format. Similarly, to create CSS locator, we'll use tag name. We can use tag name, then bracket, it's called the third bracket, and then attribute. There will be no @sign, it will be just attribute equals to the value. Okay, or we can use example, if your tag name is input and then your attribute is name and its value is email, you can use this way. Or you can use even without a tag name. We can say that time it will be Esther, and then we'll use attribute. We'll just use the same thing. Okay. So either way, you can follow this format or you can follow this format. If you use asterisk sign instead of tag name, it means it will accept any tag name. Okay. So now we're going to use CSS locator. Yeah, we're going to create a CSS locator for this object, for this table object. Okay. It means we're going to use this class. This is and the attribute name is class, and your tag name is div. Okay, let's create it. So we're going to say driver.findElement, and then we're going to say By.cssSelector, CSS-selector, okay, and then we're going to create the CSS selector. So it's we're going to follow the attribute one, tag name one. So tag name we saw div, and then bracket, and then attribute name we saw class, right? We saw class attribute, and this is the value of the class. So class equals to value of the class. Paste the value of the class. Okay, and let's put this locator, the whole thing, in a variable. It's called table, and then you can we have to give a return type would be wave element, right? Wave element, right? Okay, hover your mouse, input the package related to wave element. Good. So now, this table, this variable, it's assigning it's this one has the knowledge about this locator, and this locator is nothing about that, a specific table. Okay, so now next thing, what are you going to do? We're going to get back to here. So now our when you run the script, it will select this. It will our driver will be Chrome driver will be here, right, in this table. So now our objective is first we'll see that how many rows we do have, because we see here each and every row have the, if you notice that each and every rows the class is the same name. So if we know the how many classes with the same name, it means we'll know the how many rows we have. So and after that we'll run a for loop and we'll go to third column each row. This is the first column for every row. Second column we need a third column, which is the R, and from the third column we need this values. So every row since have the same class name, so we'll run a for loop, use the same class, and then we'll go to the third column of each row. If you see each row, inside a row they have 1, 2, this is the third column. It has this is the child. Third child, it's carrying the value of R column, so we have to select that column and we have to get the value from that column. Okay, so we're going to use this class. This is the common class for each and every row. Okay, so we'll say let's select this. So here one more thing we're going to do. So we're traversing. We're going to traverse. Our driver going to traverse from parents from here, from this table to each and every row. So those rows are the child of the parent class of the table, right? So here is one concept. It's called driver scope limiting. Driver scope limiting, it means when you use driver.findElement or elements, that method is applicable to the whole HTML page. But we want to narrow down the scope. We want to limit our driver scope so that it just only work. So it just only work in this specific table. Just here is one thing is to notice. There is one table here and there is one more table. So you may have multiple table in your page. If you have a multiple table, you will see all the tables parent class name is the same. If you see there is another table here, if you inspect that, let's inspect that, and you will see it's the same parent name, the class name for this another table. So if you just use driver.findElement and this the class, it will find multiple tables, but we don't wanna get the data from multiple tables. So we want to narrow down our drivers activities to this specific table. That's why to get the inside the data from these tables, like the rows, we will narrowing down. We're going to limit our driver scope so that it just work in a specific table. To do this, when we're going to count how many rows we have by the same type of class, we will use the limiting driver scopes limiting concept. Okay, once again, here is the concept is about the limiting driver scope. It means limiting drivers activities from a whole HTML page to one specific area, so that the driver can only work for that specific area, okay, other than the whole HTML page. If you want to know more details about the drivers scope limiting, of how the concept, in my previous one of the video, it's practice 5. Go through this video is how to test links in Selenium, it will this is about to test a link, but it is a good example to understand about the driver scope limitation, how to limit your driver's activities. Okay, so let's get back to our here. So we're going to use, that's why we're going to limit it, we're going to use this variable. We're not going to use the driver.findElements. Instead of, we'll use this variable table dot. Now we're going to use table dot find elements, and then we'll pass the class for each, and this common class name, the common class name for each and every row. So what we're going to do, this is the table. We're using tables. It means it's highlighting, it's reflect the specific table. We're saying this is the limiting. It's called driver scope limiting. Okay, we're limiting our driver scopes specific for this table, and then so from there we're using find elements because it has a multiple rows. So it has a more than one row, so that's why we're using find elements method. And inside this find elements method, we're going to our objective is to get here, the row column, our run column, right? So, and run column is a child of each and every common row. So we are going to traverse first. We're going to get the the class for the row, which is what is the same. Okay, this is the class. This is the parent class. This is the parent class for each and every rows. So, and then from there we'll go to the third column. This is the third column. Okay, this is the class for the third column. So we'll traverse from parents to again child. 1, 2, 3, third child. Okay, we'll see the relationship how you can traverse from parent to child. So first, so that's why we're saying using find elements, since it's the common class for the multiple rows. So we're saying we're going to use CSS selector, by.cssSelectors, CSS selector, right? So this is the div. Okay, yeah, div is the tag name, and the class is attribute name, div, and then class equals to, this is the this is the CSS selector for the class, for common class, for each and every common class. Okay, for the row, each and every row. This is the common class for every row. Inside a row, we have to traverse. You can see these are the child for this class, for the row class. Okay, so 1, 2, 3rd. If you go here, you will see it's reflecting this the column, the R column. Okay, so we have to traverse here. So in a CSS selector, from the parents to child, to traverse from parent to child, there is a syntax. You can see here how to traverse parent to child using CSS selector. So syntax is, you will get the CSS selector class for the parent, common class for the parent, then there will be space, and then there will be child's tag name, whatever the child's tag name, then you will put a clone, and then you will say nth-child and the position number. Okay, you can put the position number if you have a multiple, or you don't need, okay, the position number. If you just put the Yeah, you need the position number. Yes. Okay, so in our case, the position for the child, we're looking for third. Okay, so this time it will be, this is our parent class. Okay, and then we said there will be space, so there is a space here, and then the child's tag name would be, you can see child's tag name would be this is the tag name is div. So this is the div, then dot nth. I mean, if you have the multiple child, so that's why we have to confirm the specific child number, the position, the nth, and the child, and this position is third. So this is our, specifically to narrow down for the R column, this column. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this, and let's get back to here, and then I will say sorry, and then we'll say here I have put a space, and I will say div for the child, and dot, then nth, then dash, then child, and what's the position? Position is 3, right? So isn't it? This is the position 3 for the R column. This is the okay. This is the columns. This is the parent column, and this is the parent row. Then first column, second column, third column is the child. Those are the child. And how you know this is the child? You can if you have an arrow, it's towards to down. That's your parent, and underneath parent you can see those are the arrow. It's towards the right side. Okay, those are the child. So that's it. So I'm saying it's from the table, a specific table. I'm looking for all the elements, all the columns. Okay, what columns? All the specific object. Which one? The object is from the common class from each row, the third column. Okay, that's the way I'm spying the specific third column from each row. Let's put a semicolon on this, and how about this one? Okay, and how about this one? I put, so okay, let's how about this one? With this I can find how many columns I have each row specifically third column. So we'll see the number, we'll use the total number. We'll count how many, each row I have a third column. There is each row there is a column. Third column is 1, right? So if I know the number of total the column for each row, I can run a loop, and then I can add it one by one. Okay, and then I can compare, and then with this I will add this the extra, and then I will get another total, and then with that total I will compare with this total. Okay, now let's see. I will use size method, and then this one I will put in a variable. It's called count, right? And it will the return type is integer, right? So it will give me the total number of columns, third columns for each row, right? Total number of columns it will give me. Okay, and now I'm going to run a for loop for, so I'm doing hard coding. Okay, there's a because if I spy this object, right click and spy, hard code the spy, what if tomorrow this locator is get changed? So the test case will fail. Or what if tomorrow in your table the more rows get added, so that those will be fail. So that's why we're not doing anything hard coding. We're making a dynamic locator. So no matter how many rows you have in this table, or even change this locator, will be fine. So we'll say integer I equals to started from 0th row. Okay, from the first row we're considering as a 0, and then we're saying I less than. So how many times we want to run? Okay, it depends on count. I less than, so it should be less than count because we started from the 0, and then we'll say I plus plus will increment. Okay, inside this, what do you want to do? In this for loop, we want to get the value. We want to get when it goes to the first row, and then this this column, we want to get this value. Okay, we want this value. So how can we get this value? So this is one we already located. We have the locator for the third row columns for each row. The locator is this one, right? This is the one. This is the one we have. Locator find elements. This is the one. This is locating the third row from each third column from each row, right? So what do we want to do? So we want to put this we want to get the value and put in a variable. Okay, so what can we do? We can copy this guy, this locator, up until here, right? Okay, here, sorry, and then we'll get the value of I. So when it's in index value of I, get I. So when it's I is 0, it means the first row. From there, and this is the when it's the first row from this is the third column of the first row, get the text, get the value. So we'll see, we'll use the get text method. Okay, sorry, get text method. It will get the value. Okay, this line. So what I'm doing, so inside this loop, I'm saying, okay, go to the third column based on the row. So when its row's value is 0, it means the first row, and it's a third column of the first row, and get the text. Get the text. It means in third column, this is the text, which is 2, right? And put this one in a variable. I wanna put this one in a variable. So let's give a name in a variable. What's the name? Say let's put A. Okay, and its return type is string. Okay, so because it's getting a text, when you're getting a text is return type, this method is return string. So that's why. So even though those are the number, it's now number is integer, but it's integer, it's saving in a variable, and which is the return type is text, right? So what I'm going to do, how about let's print this A. Let's see that if it's working or not. Okay, sys out. Let's print this A. Okay, save it. Let's see that if it's working or not. Run Java. So it should print all the values from the third column. Okay, it's a launch the page. Good. Okay, let's go to our console. Okay, here we go. You can see it's printing. You can see it's printed. Okay, it's printed. What's the number? Let's minimize this one. It started from 2 and up to, it's printed, okay, 0, but it's printed some extra. It's came here up to 0, but it's printing also this column. This column has a value v0, all those things, right? So it comes here, so it's printing, there's an extra column. I don't want this, as well as it's printing this value too. So this last two result is printing. I don't want, I want, you know, I want up to this, and then also 7, but since it's a, instead of printing 7, it's printing this. Maybe they're all using this two column using the same class name, so that's why it's not you know, it's not going, because these two rows have a first child and there's no second child. Second child is this one, and we use the third child, so that's why it's getting this value from the third child. So we don't want this. So this last two result we don't want. So to do this, how about I can -2, I do a -2 here. If I -2 here, so it's supposed to, you know, print up to this, up to 0, you know, not last two. Let's save it again and run it again. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so let's see the result. Okay, this time looks good. You can see it just printed up to 0, which is our last, this one 0 1, the last two is 0 1. So it's remove these two rows. Okay, that's fine. So we don't need this system.out.println anymore. Okay, this is just to confirm. Okay, that's why I use this. So our A now have the knowledge all the each row's values from each row's third column, right? So now what I want to do, I want to sum up. I need to sum all these values, this one, this one, this one. Okay, so before we sum up, so we need to, so this all this A, all the values, even though it's integer, is printing, but I'm saying those are the string. So I need to convert this, string to integer. Okay, so in Java we have a method, it's called, so what are you going to do, we're going to string convert to integer. String convert to integer. In Java there is a method to convert your string value to integer. It's called integer dot parse in int, parse-int. This is the one, parse int. Okay, yes, integer. You can see parse integer, right? Okay, so I will put the value of a string. What's the value? Which one is A? This one I want to convert to integer, and let's put this one in a variable. So again, this is the method parse int. This is the method. It's convert is from the class, it's called integer. From integer class, method is parse int. You know, it's convert your string value to integer. So let's put this one in a variable. It's called value integer. This is the value integer, and return type should be int integer, right? Okay, now I want to, so this all the values of A now it's converted to integer. So I want to add all of this. So what I'm going to do, I want to, before this, let's declare a variable, integer sum equals to 0. So I declare a global variable, it's called sum, and put initialize a 0 value. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use this sum variable. So let's use this sum variable. Let's add, get the, when I get the first value, put in a sum. So I'm saying, so this value integer now have the value of those, right? First one will get 2, second one will be 0, 47, all those things, right? So I want, what I am doing, so I'm putting this value in a sum variable, and my intention is the next value integer, next this value will add with the previous one. The previous one, it means previous one the previous value is on a sum. So I want to add my current sum with the previous value. Previous value is nothing, it's sum. So what if I can do this sum plus, okay, is that make sense? So what I did, this is the value integer, this variable is carrying each and every value. When I get the first one will be 2, and then I added with the sum is 0, so my latest sum, final sum is 2. The second time when its loop will going through, it will get this value integer will be the 0. So again 0, it will added my previous sum, which is 2. 2 plus 0 is 2. The next one will be 47. So 2, my last sum was 2, and value integer is 47. So 47 plus 2 will be, my latest sum will be 49. So this way, I will have the latest sum will have the sum of all the values. Okay. Okay, so now it's good, and after that, what I'm going to do, so this sum will have all the number added up to 0. So it means up to here, but I need to add this extra too. So let's spy the extra. Let's see how I can get this value from here. This is it looks like this extra and total, these two rows have a different design. It's not the same pattern. Okay, let's inspect it. Okay, extra. Okay, yes. So it has a class. Okay, you will see that it is okay. It is a class. Okay, how about I use this extra tag. This is a text, right? The extra is a text object. So we can use there's a concept how we can locate a text object, okay, using a text method. Okay, so if you have this is the text, this is just a text, right? And there is a text method specifically to locate or spy any text object, which is, let me give you the node. I will add all the node in description below in my video. So how to identify element with text based. Okay, say this there is a text is called Selenium in a website and don't have the code. It has a, okay, so it has nothing. So this is Selenium is a text. So I want to identify this text object. How to do this? I can use, there is a method, okay, it's called text method. I can create a Xpath for this Selenium or the text using text method. So the syntax is for the Xpath it's same, // then either tagName or asterisk sign. So it's // tagName. Then I will instead of attribute I will use the text method. Text method equals to the text word. Okay, that's fine. This will locate this specific object for the text object. So similarly, I can use this here, this text word, to locate this object, the extra object. How can I do this? So this is my loop. I will go outside of the loop. I will say driver.findElement. So this time I will use the find element, right? Find the element, and I will use the Xpath. I will use the Xpath, and let's put the double quotation, and then I will say Xpath. What was the tag name? Tag name was div. Okay, the div was a tag name. Okay, div, and then I'll use double forward slash. This is the syntax, div, and then I said I will use the text method, text text method equals to what's the value of the text. It's called extras, right? And then from there, so this means it will select spy. Our driver will come to here, but our object, our mission is to get this value. Okay, so let's go to here. You can see this is the parent class for this extras row. Okay, and inside this parent class there is a 3 1 2 3. There's a 3 subclass which is the child of this parent class. So this text, this object itself inside inside this parent class. So this is the child, and this is the second child, this is the third child, right? So we need this second child, but we already here we directly come to the one of the sibling. Those are the child, right? This is the 3 child. So we already here, and we need to come here. So we need to traverse from one child to another child. So there is a in a Xpath we can traverse from sibling to sibling, from one child to another child. How we can traverse? This syntax is here. How to traverse the sibling elements using Xpath. So first we have to find the Xpath for first siblings, which is all we already got, and then we use forward slash, then the keywords following, then sibling, hash sibling, then 2:, and then desired siblings tag name. Then you can put the position, or if you want, you know this is the next one would be if you need we are going to here, we need this one. This is the following one, not the other one, not the third one. If you need the third one, if you need to skip any one of the sibling, then you put the position. If you don't need to, if you just go to the right after the second immediate sibling, you don't need to put the position number. So this is the syntax. Okay, so in this case we have already Xpath for the first sibling. We already wrote the first sibling. Okay, and so this is the second one. Okay, this is the second one. So we are following this. So for the first one, and then we have to, there's a siblings tag name. What's a tag name? There's a siblings tag name. After this we have to put the tag name. After this we have to put the tag name for the for this sibling is div, okay, div. So we are here, this is the first siblings, then forward slash / then following sibling and the tag name of the sibling, which is div. Okay, this is the immediate sibling from the first sibling. This is the traverse. That's the way we can traverse from one sibling to another sibling under the same parent using Xpath concept. Okay, so and then we'll use get text. Get text will get the value of this sibling, right? And let's put this one also in a variable, right? This is variable is, we call it extras, right? And this return type is again is string, because again get text return the string value. That's why our return type is a string. And then again we're going to convert this string value to an integer so that we can sum with our latest sum, right? With our other sum, right? So we'll say the same thing we'll do. We'll use this method, okay, and pass extras value so that this value get convert to integer and put in a variable. It's called, say, extras value, right? Extra value, and return type would be integer, right? Now good. So this has the extra value, it's the integer, and this sum has the total of all the values, which is also integer. Now we can just sum up, right? Let's say this one. So we're going to say sum this sum and plus this extra value, and let's put this one in a variable. It's called total sum, right? And definitely its return type would be integer. Both are integer. Okay, how about let's see this out. Okay, let's print this. Okay, see if it's added and sum, right? Total sum, just to confirm. Okay, run it. Java application. We're almost done. Okay, our main part is done. It's a little bit tricky, but it's very easy to understand. Okay, now so it should say the total result, the final one should say 162, because it's added all of them and then added plus 7. So let's see, 162. You see our this total sum is 162. So now we're going to compare with this total with the this total. The same way we'll spy this total, and then we'll go to follow the sibling, the traverse from one sibling to another sibling. We'll get this one, and then we'll compare with this value with our total sum. Okay, the same way we'll go for this. If we go spy again, same concept, we're going to use total here, right? So directly we're going to come here, we'll use the text method to select this total object. Same way we'll do here, we'll use the same thing, just we'll change the name, okay, the variable name. So we'll say, and so here we'll change the value, it's total, right? Here we're going to say total. This is the total. So we're going to remove this one, total, and following the sibling, it's just immediate sibling, so it's the same process. So remove this one, we'll say total, probably total value, and this is total value, and then again we'll convert this is a string again, we'll convert again this to the same process we'll use. Okay, and let's put this one, this total value, convert here to integer, right? And then we'll give a new name, probably total sum, total, not the total sum. We'll give a total value integer, total value teg integer. Okay, now this one should same as this, right? Total sum. We don't need this one to print. Okay, okay, so now we're going to compare with this total sum and total value integer. Okay, and both should be same, and then test will be passed. So now we're going to use a if condition, right? We'll say if total sum this, if this equals to this, and then we'll say print matches. Okay, we'll say sys out, we'll print something. Say example, we'll say count matches, else if it doesn't match, we'll say else, we'll say didn't match, sorry, we'll say count didn't match, did not match. Okay, so usually in our real life when you do the testing using TestNG unit framework, and that TestNG unit framework, there is a the method we use assertion. There's a class assertion class. Inside a class assertion there is a assert, there is a different methods inside a assertion class. It's assert equals or assert true. We'll use assert equals method over here, to compare this to variable, this to sum. Okay, but for now we're using if else method. Since this is only on Java, we're not using TestNG unit framework. Okay, so it should print the count matches. Okay, let's save it and run it. Let's and also okay, let's yeah. Okay, it's launching the page. Okay, it's loaded. Close it. Let's see. Okay, its result. Okay, it's printed count matches. It means both this variable, its total sum, it means all of the sums from third column, including this 7. It's compare with this total value and its matches. Okay, it's printed, its matches. Okay, so pretty much that's it about this, how you can do the automation in a table, any data or any value or any object in a table, right? Nothing is hard coded here. Okay, it's all dynamic. If tomorrow, if any other rows is added to this table and any value change, there will be no problem. Okay, so that's why we didn't directly hard code any object, specifically any object. We use the relationship between the we saw this, how we can traverse from parents to child, we saw this, using just a common object, which is common class. Okay, and we saw also how we can traverse from one sibling to another sibling, right, using the following concept, right? So this is a good example. It's not only to know how to automate the table, but also the relationship, how we can traverse from parents to child, and also how we can traverse from one sibling to another sibling. Okay, so that's it, guys, for today, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in next tutorial.